meditate on Sri Ramakrishna and pray for the well-being of the whole humanity. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Stapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Stapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishna Te Namah. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. In the last class, I started the topic, there is nothing greater than faith. Sri Ramakrishna has said like this in the Gospel. It has got tremendous importance. Without faith, one cannot achieve the spiritual realization. Faith is most important. And through faith, you can achieve anything you want. Sri Ramakrishna's faith, if you see how much he had tremendous faith on Divine Mother, he was totally dependent on Mother. He would say, everything in me is Mother only. So, his whole life was started in faith. His faith or belief was not a thing that came to him at some time in his life. He was born with it. In his outlook and attitude to many things of mystic significance, he differed from others of his age and even from his elders and seniors. His aunt Ramshila, at times she used to be possessed by the goddess Shitala. As long as she was in that state of possession, she looked upon with awe by the whole family. When Sri Ramakrishna was only the child, Gadadhar, Ramshila was once in the grip of Shitala possession. Gadadhar did not keep away from her, but stood near, reverent and observant. Later on he said, it would be very nice if the spirit who possessed my aunt would possess me. Truly, a bewildering aspiration on a child's part. There's another instance. There was a person by name Srinivas. It happened in Kamarpukur village. He actually worshipped Gadadhar long before Gadadhar was to be recognized by people as an adorable Paramahamsa. Gadadhar graciously accepted the worship, evidently induced by some inner awareness of the propriety of the village's unusual act. And with what uncommon ardor and trenchant faith and powerful realism, Sri Ramakrishna approached Mother Kali and established an ultra-close relationship with her. It is an occurrence without parallel in God quest. To his vision, impregnated with faith, the stone image was not stone to him, it was Chaitanyamaya, herself, divine consciousness, manifesting in that image. And the metal image of Ramlal was a frolicsome baby himself. And all this was no case of self-hypnotizing, but rested on sound, objective testing. Sri Ramakrishna many times would go to the temple of Kali at Dakshineshwar. He would stand near the Divine Mother and he would actually feel her breath on his hand. He held his hand near the nostrils of the Divine Mothers and he could feel the breath. And in spite of the most careful observation, he never saw the Divine Mother cast any shadow on the walls, thus demonstrating the truth of scriptural assertions in this regard. Again, when he took up the practice of Madhurabhava, he was verily what Sri Radha was in the olden days in mood and symptom and behavior. Not only was Sri Ramakrishna himself the high watermark of what faith is and is capable of, but he was able to weave round him an air of faith which infilled others also. An instance of this is to be found in an incident bringing the rationalist Narendranath, who later became Vivekananda, and the pious and simple woman, devotee, Gopala's mother, together. One day, it so happened that Narendranath and Gopala's mother were there in Sri Ramakrishna's room. Gopala's mother was a remarkable devotee who had the privilege to have direct visions of the divine Gopal, who was more than a flesh and blood reality to her. She was playing with Gopala every day, feeding him. He was asking for various types of dishes to be given to him. Gopala's mother was playing almost every day with boy Gopala. Sri Ramakrishna knew all about her strange experiences. Others could not know. Sri Ramakrishna could see her visions very clearly, because Sri Ramakrishna's mind was so pure, it's only pure mind can recognize such experiences. One day, Gopala's mother and Narendranath were present with Sri Ramakrishna at Dakshineshwar. Sri Ramakrishna asked her to narrate her realizations to his chief disciple, Narendranath, who would always take a stand on reason and high common sense. Though, of course, in his heart of hearts, Narendranath was a prince among devotees. As Gopala's mother gave an account of her experiences with Gopala, all of which were stranger than fiction, she asked her intellectually bent Narendranath. She asked him, "My son, you are learned and intelligent, and I am a poor illiterate widow. I don't understand anything. Tell me if you consider my vision of Gopala to be real." And Narendranath genuinely felt and strongly asserted in reply to her repeated queries about the factuality of her visions of and sportings with the boy Gopala, that all that she saw and heard and experienced was quite true. Narendranath came to the conclusion that her experiences of Gopala, her visions about Gopala, were not imaginary, they were not fiction, they were real. Sri Ramakrishna said, once a person has faith, he has achieved everything. There is nothing greater than faith. Sri Ramakrishna has said like this in the Gospel. Such is the tremendous power of faith. So if you are trying to go in spiritual path, you must build up faith. Faith must be the foundation of your spiritual life. Then everything works out very well. Swami Brahmanandaji, one of the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, he said in his Eternal Companion, if a person has faith in the words of his Guru, if he follows them, then all his doubts and troubles vanish. If a person has faith in the words of his Guru, God will meet all his wants. Holding him by the hand, he will lead him on the right path. God takes the full responsibility of leading such a person who has developed tremendous faith in the Guru. In the beginning, it is true, the mind will refuse to come under control. It is well known fact. Mind behaves like that. So if you want to think in a spiritual way, you will immediately have to confront with your own mind, which wants to go in opposite direction. Brahmanji says, don't yield to that mind. Force it, urge it, entreat it in order to fix it on meditation. Make an effort. faith and regularity are very important. Faith and regularity. You must be very regular when you come to spiritual path. Nobody can succeed in anything without faith and regularity. He further says, one must have faith that one Brahman is in man, woman, in all creatures. And with that faith, one must learn to serve Shiva in the form of Jiva. With that attitude, if you engage yourself in serving the humanity, you will achieve the goal. To have faith in God, to be devoted to Him, to praise His glories, these are the only duties in life. People talk of duties. When they talk of duty, they generally mean duty to their family, to their kith and kins, friends, relations, children, wife, husband, and so on. The near relations, where they are involved themselves, they have developed an attachment and they feel they are obliged to do things for them. In a way, they are tied down by such responsibilities. And that is true in case of people who are living in the world amidst so many involvements. Swami Brahmanji says, to have faith in God, to be devoted to Him, to praise His glories, these are the only duties in life. The word duty means you must do it, you must feel, you must do it, you must cherish these values. That's what he meant. You must do it. That's the significance of duty. You can't simply avoid it. You can't bypass them. So keep your mind fixed in God. It is not always easy to keep the mind steady in God while working. The ego creeps in, but never be discouraged by your failures. Swami Brahmanji says further, repeated failure is inevitable in the beginning. In a way, the failures come as tests for your spiritual pursuit. Do you still pursue your spiritual path, or do you go back to the world? So, repeated failures, they keep coming and attacking you. They come when you try to control your mind. One has to have these repeated failures in the beginning. But one should keep one's faith and one should redouble his efforts. Try hard to live up to your ideal. It is just like learning a music. Suppose you want to learn a bhajan. You keep singing, you find it is too difficult to learn. At times you may feel frustrated. You may feel you may not be able to learn at all. But still, if you pursue it with effort, with a redoubled effort, with tremendous faith that you would be able to learn, finally you will learn it. Once it happened when I was in Bangalore, I was learning bhajans from one of our Swamis, and he used to teach bhajan, and we have to practice it in our rooms, and in the next class we should be able to sing closely to what he expected. And one song was so difficult to learn, I kept on repeating, singing it number of times. And one of the brahmacharis who was going by the side of my room, he remarked, "What? Whole day you are singing the song?" I simply smiled. But afterwards I had the benefit of knowing that song very well. And afterwards it becomes very easy. But how much effort you have to make? Tremendous effort is required. So real faith, therefore, cannot be had at the beginning. First realization, then faith. At first, the spiritual aspirant must pin his faith, blind faith it may be, in the words of his guru or some great soul. He has to believe. When the teacher has said, you believe it, just do what he says. Only then can you advance towards the goal. Without faith, none can attain God. He who has true faith has certainly reached God. If you have faith in 1 penny, it has value. But if you have no faith even in gold piece, it has no value for you. He who has faith in God is freed from doubts. Without renunciation, there can be no faith or devotion. Without dispassion towards the world, faith and love do not grow. Have intense faith in the power of God's name and meditate on Him. In a chaste person, a special spiritual nerve is developed. With its help, his memory, his capacity for spiritual understanding, and his faith in God increases. Another direct disciple, Swami Ramakrishna Math, he also has spoken very highly about the firm faith, how it is very important in spiritual life, and referring to the people at large, Swami Ramakrishna Math said, our faith is too faltering. Few of us believe in God all the time. As long as we have $3 or $4 in our pocket, we think we can depend on ourselves. Only when the last cent is gone and we don't know where to get another, do we begin to trust in God. But the person who depends on himself is never safe, while the one who has perfect faith in God is never in danger. So develop faith. You have to develop faith. Swami Chidananda, another direct disciple, said, you feel depressed because your faith is lukewarm. You must cultivate self-confidence. Without Shraddha or faith in oneself, man is no man. He is a bundle of negatives. He accomplishes nothing. Believe that you have the power to achieve anything that your heart sets itself upon. Keep your faith firm and repeat the name of the Lord. You will know everything from within yourself. So in order to cultivate faith and devotion, you must have definite program in your daily life. You must positively engage yourself in such activities which would increase your faith in God. Most important, you must try to live in a place where the spiritual vibrations are felt. Holy places, retreat centers. When you come there, you must be conscious of every moment, how you behave, how you talk, how you do things, how you think. Everything must be properly coordinated and oriented towards spirituality. You have come to the holy place, think of holy thoughts. Never think of anything other than that. Read holy scriptures. Read the stories of the saints and sages and the Mahatmas who have realized God. Feel the direct inspiration from their teachings and engage yourself in concentration and meditation. Regular prayers, reading of scriptures, constant repetition of the divine name, singing of His glories, all these help to develop, to cultivate faith in God. You have to cultivate it, you have to develop it. If you don't try, you won't get anything. So God is present, God is there. That is positive. All the Mahatmas have said, all the saints and sages of the whole world have said, all the incarnations have declared, all the scriptures have declared, God is present, God is there. So when God is there, He is always present, that should give us tremendous hope. So depending on Him, you gain everything. If you don't have faith in God, you lose everything. So you have to train your mind, you have to make the mind spiritual, turn the mind inward, try to fix it on God. And with this tremendous faith, you should be able to achieve your goal. So that is the topic of today. There is nothing greater than faith. In the last class, I mentioned 2-3 incidents where through faith one could really have the vision of God. So let us try to develop that faith and pursue the spiritual goal with steadfastness and determination. We are sure to reach the goal in this very life. We will have the glimpse of spirituality. It all depends upon the purity of the mind. After all, the spiritual practices are meant to purify the mind. to remove all the impurities, bad samskaras from the mind, then you should be able to see visions and have experiences. Page 682. While worshipping God, one should assume a different attitude. I have three attitudes: the attitude of a child, the attitude of a maidservant, and the attitude of a friend. For a long time I regarded myself as a maidservant and a woman companion of God. At that time I used to wear skirts and ornaments like a woman. The attitude of a child is very good. The attitude of a hero is not good. Some people cherish it. They regard themselves as Purush and women as Prakriti. They want to propitiate woman through intercourse with her. But this method often causes disaster. Girish asked, at one time I too cherished that idea. Sri Ramakrishna looked at Girish pensively. Girish said, I still have that twist in my mind. Tell me what I should do. Sri Ramakrishna reflected a minute and said, give God your power of attorney. Let him do whatever he likes. The conversation then turned to Sri Ramakrishna's young devotees. Master said to Girish and others, in meditation I see the inner traits of these youngsters. They have no thought of acquiring house and property. They don't crave sex pleasure. Those of the youngsters who are married do not sleep with their wives. The truth is that unless a man has got rid of rajas and has acquired sattva, he can't steadily dwell in God. He can't love God and realize Him. Girish said, you have blessed me. Master answered, how is that? I said that you would succeed if you were sincere. Saying this, the Master exclaimed, Anandamayi, and went into Samadhi. He remained in that state a long time, regaining partial consciousness. He said, where are those rascals? My Yam brought Babu Ram to him. Sri Ramakrishna looked at Babu Ram and the other devotees and said, still in ecstasy, the bliss of Satchidanand is indeed good. But what about the bliss of divine inebriation? He began to sing. Once for all, this time I have thoroughly understood. From one who knows it well, I have learned the secret of bhava. Again he sang, why should I go to Ganga or Gaya, to Kashi, Kanchi or Prabhas, so long as I can breathe my last with Kali's name upon my lips? The Master continued saying, while praying to the Divine Mother, I said, O Mother, I don't seek anything else. Give me only pure love for Thee. Sri Ramakrishna was pleased with Girish's calm mood. He said to him, this mood of yours is good. The calm mood is the best. The Master was seated in the manager's room. A man entered and said, will you see the farce, the confusion of marriage? It is being played now. Sri Ramakrishna said to Girish, what have you done? This farce after the life of Prahlada? First sweets and rice pudding, and then a dish of bitter bread, bitter herbs. After the theatre, the actress, following Girish's instructions, came to the room to salute Sri Ramakrishna. The actresses came to Sri Ramakrishna. They bowed before him, touching the ground with their foreheads. The devotees noticed that some of the actresses, in saluting the Master, touched his feet. He said to them very tenderly, please don't do that, Mother. After the actresses had left the room, Sri Ramakrishna said to the devotees, "It's all he, only in different forms." The carriage was ready at the door. Girish and the others came to the street to see the master off. As soon as Sri Ramakrishna stepped into the carriage, he went into deep samadhi. Narayan and several other devotees were with him. The carriage started for Dakshineshwar. It was the Christmas season. Taking advantage of the holiday, many devotees came to the temple garden to visit the master. Some of them arriving in the morning. Among these were Kedar, Ram, Nityagopal, Tarak, Surendra, M, Sharada, Prasanna, and a number of young devotees. This was Sharada Prasanna's first visit. Master asked M, "Where is Bankim? Haven't you brought him with you?" Bankim was a schoolboy when Sri Ramakrishna had met in Bagh Bazaar. Noticing him even from a distance, the master had said that he was a fine boy. After a while, Sri Ramakrishna went to the Panchavati with the devotees. They surrounded him, some sitting and some standing. He was seated on the cement platform around the tree facing the southwest. He asked M with a smile, "Have you brought the book?" M said, "Yes, sir." "Master, read a little to me." The devotees were eager to know the name of the book. It was called Devi Chaudarani. The master had heard that the book dealt with motiveless action. He had also heard of the great renown of its author, Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, whom he had met some days before, and he wanted to gauge the author's mind from the book. M said, "A young girl, the heroine, fell into the hands of a robber named Bhavani Pathak. Her name had been Prafulla, but the robber changed it to Devi Chaudarani. At heart, Bhavani was a good man. He made Prafulla go through many spiritual disciplines. He also taught her how to perform selfless action. He robbed wicked people and with that money fed the poor and helpless. He said to Prafulla, 'I chastise the wicked and protect the virtuous.'" Sri Ramakrishna said, "But that's a king's duty." Let us stop here. So, one has to build up one's faith. That's the topic. For faith is the foundation of spiritual life. Somehow you must develop and cultivate faith in God. And as Brahmanji said, faith in the words of the Guru will take you towards a goal very quickly. Even though the faith is blind in the beginning, then you will realize the significance of that in the end. When you have tremendous faith in Guru, God Himself takes the responsibility of giving vision to the devotee. Any question to ask? Any comments or questions? Which one? There is nothing greater than faith. That's Sri Ramakrishna has said. Gospel? No, that time when I was talking, in the end only, after finishing my talk, I read it. Yeah, Brahman just said about faith, about how one should cherish faith in oneself. And Eternal Companion is a very fine book. Eternal Companion, Spiritual Teachings of Swami Brahmananda. In Kamar, no. It is not in the Eternal Companion. It is in some Bengali book. That incident is there. In Bengali book. It is taken. All right, we shall stop. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire worldly lust raging furiously within. O name streamed down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of his bliss, tasting his nectar at every step, bathing in his name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord. In each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue. The playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Ah, how I long for the day when an instant's separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.